Sorry. Good morning. I hope everyone here is having a great start to their morning. A little brisk, a little rainy, so I'm grateful that I made it out of the house this morning, and it's awesome that everybody here did too. My name is Rob Bray. I'm a member of the board here at Tennessee Valley Unitarian Universalist Church, and I would like to welcome everyone here on behalf of the board and the program council. Welcome to everyone that is watching us online, and if we could all just take a brief second and turn around and wave at the cameras, say good morning to those fine folks. You are welcome here, whoever you are, wherever you are from, and wherever you are on your journey. If you would like more information about TVUUC, please fill out the visitor card that is in the back of the chair in front of you or the pew in front of you. You can also place that in the collection baskets as they go around. For those of you viewing online, you can go to the church website at tvuuc.org, and on the menu, select Stay in Touch and fill out the virtual visitor card. If you or your family are interested in programs for children, youth, and parents, please visit our religious exploration table located in the lobby. The church website also has updated information about this year's programming and events, as well as resources for families. Kristen McBee is at the table in the lobby today, and she's happy to answer any questions that you might have. We have an awesome announcement this morning. Lillian Mashburn came up to me really excited about this year's auction. She said that we are $97 away from tying a previous best of raising $24,000. That's fantastic. That is incredible. So I have a sneaking suspicion that $97 will be made up by someone this morning. A couple of outside announcements. I'll open the podium to Alice Woody with Family Promise, and then after her, Eddie Chin has a brief announcement.
Thank you, Tom. Good morning, everyone. I really wasn't expecting to see this many people here, and I'm just overjoyed to see all these faces. As you know, maybe, I do a lot of work with Family Promise. We will start hosting our Family Promise participants next Sunday the 17th. We are currently signing up and filling our spaces for cooks and hosts and people to set up the rooms and take down the beds and, well, let's see, what else? Oh, stay overnight. One of the reasons we've had trouble in the past with people being able to stay overnight is that our beds were just darn uncomfortable. We have new air mattresses. I am going to set one up. Yes, yay, new air mattresses. I am going to set up one in the Lizzie Crozier-French room after service. And for those of you who would like to see what a good air mattress feels like, maybe even try a test run after Chris's sermon on hibernation, then we can make that work for you. I will be outside of the Lizzie Crozier-French room signing up people to volunteer in all categories. I know it's busy this time of year, but I hope you can find a couple of hours or an evening to spend making Family Promise work. This is one of the oldest social outreaches that TVUUC has participated in, and we want to continue this. And now I have no notes. My mind is just about blank for top things to say on this topic, so I'm just going to say, please stop by, test out the mattress, sign up for an activity. Thank you.
Good morning. How about them Vols? They finally won one. I think maybe some of you have heard, but the board has made the decision to have 2 congregational meetings each year from here going forward. Not only will we have a congregational meeting this coming June, we plan to have one at our church on Sunday, January 28th. We're excited about the progress and growth that our church is experiencing since the end of the pandemic. Unfortunately, some of our antiquated systems, practices, and bylaws are holding us back from growing into the future. Look how much the world has changed in the past 10 years. Heck, just the last 2 years. We need to change to adapt to the times. There have been teams of volunteers working tirelessly behind the scenes, helping us prepare to step into the future. Our new website is one example of that. Our focus has been on bylaw changes, board goals, and technology updates. These changes will make us more efficient in dealing with the present and prepare us for journeying into the future. This is not something that we decided to do overnight. The Strategic Planning Committee has been working on this and these changes for over 3 years, using feedback and recommendations from you, the congregation, committees, staff, as well as the Unitarian Universalist Association Southern Region. Having a congregational meeting twice a year will give us an opportunity to address important issues sooner rather than waiting until the end of the church year. We'll be sending out more information as January 28th approaches, so keep tuned in. We plan to have a table set up in the fellowship hall after the service starting next Sunday to answer anybody's questions. Looking forward to talking with you. Thank you.
And a little bit more news about the auction. It was kind of a two-parter. The auction is still open until 9 p.m. tonight, and there are still items available. So let's blow right past that $24,000 number and set a new record this year. Please join us after the service for coffee and conversations in the fellowship hall. And now, please silence your electronic devices as we enter into worship.
Hello, I'd like to welcome our guest organist, Joseph Gavednik, and he studies at UT under Dr. Edie Johnson, and today he is going to play for meditation a Bach chorale, and chorale means that it was a hymn familiar to Bach's congregation that Bach then took and decorated it in many various ways for use as a prelude in the services.
Our opening words are by Lorenzo Bassman, UU Hanukkah Blessings. We honor the great mystery of the universe, the source of all, which deems everything sacred by its power to unite us and give us the radiance that we bring forth together as we kindle the Hanukkah lights. We celebrate the spirit of life, wellspring of all that we perceive and imagine, as we look upon with reverence the wondrous great fortune which has been bestowed upon our ancestors throughout antiquity. We cherish the wonder of each thing, the order of the universe that binds us together with all of nature, for giving us life, for sustaining us, and for enabling us to reach this season. Come, let us worship together.
I invite you to rise and body your spirit for our chalice lighting song, which is the chorus of Hark the Herald Angels Sing. Our opening hymn is 221 in the gray hymnal. Also invite you to come 1 o'clock today for a Hanukkah party. Oh yes.
This is a youth Hanukkah party.
Oh, you youth Hanukkah party. So okay.
6th to 12th graders.
6th through 12th graders come to the Hanukkah party. And now let's say the affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. This is our great covenant. Now our opening hymn.
Sing with us.
Light one candle for the Maccabee children, with thanks their light didn't die. And light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice justice and freedom demand. Light one candle for the wisdom to know when the peacemaker's time is at hand. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears.
It is good to be gathered here this morning with so many of our friends and community members here in this room, those who have been with us for many years, those who are here for the first time, and those who are watching from home or another part in the building. I'm so glad to be gathered here. So I have sort of a story to share this morning. It's a little different than sometimes because this is a poem that was also set to music as a poem and a song made into a picture book and a song by Benjamin Schuer, and I think these words deserve to be told just right. And when I tell a story, I will tell you a secret. I don't memorize the words exactly one by one. So we have some words here. But first, I want to know, have any of us here ever been cold? Have any of us ever been tired? Have any of us ever wanted to kind of hole up and hunker down? So, in the words of Benjamin Schuer, sometimes you feel small. Sometimes you feel shy. Sometimes you feel worried, and you may not know why. Are any of us ever worried and maybe don't even know why? Sometimes you want nobody to see. Darling, you can hibernate with me. With a blanket made of meadow moss, I'll wrap you in a hug, somewhere comfortable and warm, somewhere cozy, safe, and snug. I have got the perfect hollow tree. Darling, you can hibernate with me. I wonder what kind of creature we might be. Who hibernates? A bear? Yeah? Who else hibernates? Yeah. Frogs? Do frogs hibernate? Oh, interesting. When it gets too dry, some bears, yeah. Bears hibernate, yeah. So I hear frogs hibernate too. So I am not a highly trained animal scientist, but we know there are some animals that hibernate, and I wonder, do humans ever hibernate? Maybe not quite in the way that bears do, but sometimes we might need some time, right? Sometimes things can feel confusing. Have we ever been confused? Sometimes things feel gray. I wonder if we have ever felt like it was gray. But if you're ever feeling lost, I'll help you find your way. In the autumn, when the leaves turn from green to red, I will keep you warm. In the winter, when the wind blows cold, have we felt some cold wind lately? You'll have a cozy bed, away from every storm. Were any of us in our beds last night when there was some storming happening? Yeah. When the spring comes and the snow slowly melts away, I'll be by your side. I invite you to think about who is by your side when things start to get brighter. In the summer, we will frolic in the clover and dandelion. But if you want to hide, I'll always have a tree for you. I'll always meet you there. I'm always going to love you because you're my favorite bear. When you wake, there will be honey for your tea. Darling, you can hibernate with me. Darling, you can hibernate with me. That is our song, which I didn't sing, our poem for this morning, our invitation to think about who are the people around us who we can hibernate with, who help us feel cozy and safe and warm, and what are the things that help us when we have some need to retreat and be in the darkness for a little bit before we emerge again. And so that is our story for this morning. Thank you all. And we're now going to sing those who are heading to our RE spaces out with our recessional.
Good morning. My name is David Massey. I'm a member of the spiritual care team here at TVUC. That team includes Tina Becker, Mebby Jackson, Carolyn Rogers, Mike Madfee, John Montgomery, John Coffey, and Doug Cox. Either through formal education or by completing the UUA Pastoral Care course for volunteers, these individuals are trained in the discipline of active listening. You may call on us if you need to talk in confidence about a problem or issue you are facing, if you have a joy or concern that you would like shared with the congregation. If you know of a joy or a concern that the spiritual care team or Reverend Buice should look into, please don't assume we know about it. If you need rides to a medical appointment or to the hospital, if you need visitors to come cheer you, to cheer your week, we answer TVUC's pastoral care line during the day and early evening 7 days a week and respond to phone messages as soon as we hear them. That number, 865-297-3155, is in the order of service and in the weekly newsletter. And let me just say, the spiritual care team is just one way this church tries to make sure that our pastoral care needs are being met. In fact, one way or another, at one time or another, we are all providing love and support and a listening ear to one another in this beloved community. Now, as it happens, today is the second Sunday of the month when the spiritual care team offers a chance for you to sit down with us in person and share what's on your mind or in your heart. Or maybe you just have a good story to tell and you really would love for someone to hear it. Whatever the reason, here's an opportunity for a good conversation. Look for Mike Madfee and Tina Becker at the listening booths in the main hallway following today's service. Finally, please stop by the caring table in the Greg McKendry Fellowship Hall to add your name to messages that will be mailed to those in need of our good wishes. Faye Joyce and Sue Kersey are volunteering at that table today. One of the cards, by the way, is for our friend Jim Harb, whose Palestinian olive oil is being sold in the Fellowship Hall by Bob Grimmick, and we're wanting to wish Jim all the best. This is the time in our service when we share joys and concerns. Across the world, we are mindful of the thousands, if not millions, of people who are killed or injured or displaced by wars all over, from Romania to Gaza to Africa. Closer to home, we are mindful of the people who were killed and injured and displaced by the tornado that swept through West Tennessee last night. In the congregation, Kate Benson will need our positive thoughts and healing energies as she undergoes major back surgery at Fort Sanders Hospital on Tuesday. Kate's daughter Beth is here from Rhode Island and will remain for a couple of weeks. After that, be on the lookout as Kate may need help with meals and getting to medical appointments and physical therapy. Bobby Cruz has completed several rounds of chemotherapy for breast cancer and is now scheduled for surgery this coming Thursday. This will be followed by radiation. Bobby would appreciate our good vibes, loving thoughts, and healing prayers as she enters this next phase of her treatment. Also in our hearts and minds this week is Tina Becker, as she provides support to her Aunt Roberta, who lives in an assisted living community in Maryville and who has been diagnosed with the flu. Now, when you have a contagious illness in a senior living facility, staying in your room or apartment in quarantine can be a significant challenge, and the burden of that challenge often falls on caregivers like Tina. Mark Mahundro is feeling slightly better, but still coughing and getting easily winded as he recovers from the double whammy of RSV and pneumonia. Mark feels like he's going in the right direction and appreciates everyone's good wishes. Now, a word of caution. Just because you see Mark posting on the Members and Friends Facebook page does not mean he is ready for anything close to a normal workday. He still needs time to heal. Let him be. Many of you know that Sylvia Smith had an unexpected trip to the ER last week due to difficulty breathing. The good news, after multiple tests, she has been diagnosed with non-contagious pneumonia. I didn't know that was a thing, and is waiting results of other testing. She says with a laugh, quote, "On Thursday they sprung me from the hospital in time to attend my water aerobics annual Christmas party, and I was still wearing my red velour pajamas." So I guess she turned a water aerobics Christmas party into a water aerobics pajama party, which has got to be a first. For all of these joys and concerns, as well as those that remain unspoken in confidence or that are unknown, let us send our love and light into the world by singing our compassion hymn, "Sending You Light." The lyrics are in your order of service.
I invite you to turn to the back of your gray hymnals for responsive reading 543, Winter. I will read the first words, and you'll read the words in italics. Let us not wish away the winter. It is a season to itself, not simply the way to spring. When trees the clarity and brilliance of the winter sky delight. The loom of fog softens edges, lulls the eyes and ears of the quiet, awakens by risk the unquiet. A low, dark sky can snow, emblem of individuality, liberality, and aggregate power. Snow invites to contemplation and to sport. Winter dark tends to warm light, fire and candle. Winter cold to hugs and huddles. Winter want to gifts and sharing. Winter danger to visions, plans, and common endeavoring. And the zest of narrow escapes. Winter tedium to merrymaking.
I invite you into a time of prayer and meditation with this prayer for Advent by Cricket Hall. In this time of waiting, may we hold the world in our hearts. In this time of waiting, may we hold each other's hands. In this time of waiting, may we be thoughtful and introspective. In this time of waiting, may we delight in the darkness and all it teaches us. In this time of waiting, may we rekindle the fires of hope, love, joy, and peace within ourselves and our communities. In this time of waiting, may we become ready for the coming day. In this time of waiting, let us enter into silent worship together. Amen.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Bill Foley, and I've got two pieces of music, probably two of the most beautiful pieces of music ever written. The first one is by Robert Schumann. I'm going to begin and end with that piece, and then in the middle, I'm going to mash up another beautiful piece of music written by Charlie Chaplin, who you may not realize was a prolific composer. And that song is Smile. And the first one is Traumerai, which means dreaming.
Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. When you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness, although a tear may be ever so near. That's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use in crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you'll just smile.
Wow, I don't know how to quite follow that up. So I'm just going to launch into something different. My name is Claudia Presley. I'm the Director of Finance and Operations. I have 3 equally important things to tell you guys about today. One is everyone in this congregation did a fabulous job with nominating organizations for our 2024 Share the Plate. Where we are now is voting is now open. When you received your online order of service yesterday, there was a link in there. When you receive your newsletter on Wednesday, there will be a link in there. By this afternoon, on our website, there should be a link on the homepage to go in and look at the organizations that were nominated and select 12 of them for the 2024 list. We have some great groups. So please go in and do that. If you need help, contact someone in the office, contact one of our board members, someone on program council, lots of folks that can help you with that. Every person that is a member or a pledging friend is eligible to vote for the 2024 organizations. That's my first important thing. Then, speaking of Share the Plate organizations, today's organization is the Trans Empowerment Project. That group has an agenda. It is to educate allies, empower community, and ensure that we all thrive. Their website says, trans people, especially disabled queer and trans people of color, are among the most impacted by systemic oppression and equality. The Trans Empowerment Project works to ensure that our community has access to the most basic of needs by facilitating emergency food and gender-affirming clothing deliveries and transportation to safe shelter, along with many other needs that can be met. So today, when you give, whether that is online, in person, over your computer, over your phone, unless your giving is marked as a pledge, half of that gift will go to the Trans Empowerment Project. The other half will go to the General Operating Fund of TVUUC. Now, the third important thing, we're doing something different today. This comes from conversations with the stewardship team, with the staff, with the worship committee. This is an experiment. So please, if you like it, then come tell me how much you like it. If you don't really like it or you're not quite sure, sit with it for a couple of weeks and see if it grows on you a little bit. Know that the stewardship team is going to be evaluating this as we go along. But at least for the next 2 months, we are not going to pass the plate in the sanctuary. We will have offering baskets at the back on the choir railing. You can drop your cash or your checks in there, either on the way in the mornings on Sundays, on the way out. You can still give in the lobby through our giving kiosk. You can still text give to the number 73256, type in TVUUC and the amount that you would like to give, or if you're watching online, use the Give or Give Now button or bar that shows up on your screen. The reason we're doing this is because what you just heard before I stepped up here was incredibly beautiful music. David and the choir are doing something really special here with bringing us some really quality musical performances and experiences. We'd like you to focus on that and not focus on digging your wallet out, making sure you have a check, writing that check out, whatever. So please, during this time, take a little bit of time, listen to what's being said, and then on your way out, please drop your offering in the baskets. Thanks for your time.
Now this. Okay, our offertory, if we take it in the light of Bill Foley's performance, that gave you some time to rest and meditate. This coming offertory is a brisk wake-up call for the King of Kings. It's O come, Emmanuel, but as a very lively toccata. The composer, Adolphus Hailstork, is an African-American composer who is around 80 years old now, and his most recent composition is a Requiem cantata for George Floyd entitled A Knee on a Neck. So I encourage you to look up Adolphus Hailstork. He has several hundred compositions that you can find and listen to and support his music. And thank you, Joseph, for preparing this piece for us.
The question I want to ask this morning is, should human beings hibernate? And I'm glad to see so many people have come out of their caves to contemplate the question. There's a Cherokee legend about the S.A.D clan. The legend goes that a boy who grew up in that clan used to go up into the mountains every afternoon for many hours to spend time with the bears. And every day when he came back, he was a little hairier than he was before. And he did this over many different days, and he got hairier and hairier. And his parents started to worry about him, and so they suggested maybe he shouldn't go up into the mountains so much. And he said, but I love to go up in the mountains. I love to spend time with the bears because the nuts and berries are so much better than the plants we grow up in the fields. And so the parents weren't sure what to do about this problem, and so they went to talk to the leaders of the clan, and they explained the problem, and the leaders of the clan held a gathering, and they discussed what the boy was doing, and the clan decided that they too wanted to go up in the mountains and spend time with the bears. And so the whole clan went up into the mountains, and it said that no one ever saw them again. They became bears, but they left a note to those behind. And the note read, "We are going where there is plenty to eat, and no one will ever go hungry. And you should never be afraid to hunt or kill us because we cannot die. Now we will always live." Now this legend challenges the anthropomorphic theology of Western religion that puts human beings at the top of the hierarchy and all other beings lower as lesser beings. Missionaries tried to convert the Cherokee to Western civilization. Those are quotes there. And yet, this Cherokee story suggests that maybe human beings ought to consider converting into bears, converting to be closer to nature, to move away from human ideas of civilization toward a closer relationship with the earth. Today, I want to consider that possibility as well, especially as we enter the winter holiday season, a time when studies show that human beings often enter into a more depressive state, experience what some people call seasonal affective disorder with that appropriate acronym S.A.D or S.A.D. It's a time to reflect. Over the summer, I spent a lot of time hiking around Cades Cove, and it gave me a chance to spend time with the bears, watching the bear cubs, spending time with them. So it's a chance to reflect this morning on the bears. This summer, I was hiking out from Abrams Fall, and I came over a hill, and I saw a bear heading toward me, and I decided to yield the right of way. Climbed up on a ledge there and watched the bear saunter by. Of course, now is the season of winter when bears begin to hibernate. And this has inspired at least one poet to write a poem which invites us to consider imitating the bears. The poet Andrea Gibson has written a poem called "Instead of Depression," and I'd like to share it with you this morning. Instead of depression, try calling it hibernation. Imagine the darkness as a cave in which you will be nurtured by doing absolutely nothing. Hibernating animals don't even dream. It's okay if you cannot imagine spring. Sleep through the alarm of the world. Name your hopelessness a quiet hollow, a place you go to heal, a den you dug, sweetheart, instead of a grave. I love this poem. As the Quakers say, it speaks to my condition. During this time of year, nature is telling us to slow down. Nature is telling us to rest. and the wisdom of the Cherokee and other indigenous people to remind us to align ourselves with the rhythms of nature, to align ourselves with the cycles of the seasons. As the nights grow longer and the days grow shorter, rest more, work less. According to the shamans, bears are exemplars of rebirth. Bears hibernate in the winter and awaken again in the spring. In the Smokies, this period of hibernation is not one long, deep sleep, but a series of longer periods of sleep. So occasionally you'll see a black bear in the Smokies in the wintertime. And there's more activity in the spring. Rest in winter, activity in the spring. The goal of hibernation is to conserve energy. A mama bear hibernates during the period of gestation, and that's why in the spring you see so many bear cubs. It's a time of birth and rebirth in the spring. Many indigenous people teach that a bear has shamanic qualities, and that's why they're solitary. Many observers have noted that bears can be found sitting still by a lake or by a stream or by a beautiful vista, and it's speculated that bears may have some appreciation of beauty and maybe some form of contemplation. So whenever we see a bear from a safe distance, we can see it as an invitation to sit and to rest and to drink in the beauty all around us. Western civilization is built on different principles. Instead of looking to bears for wisdom, we tend to look toward machines. Deists, like many of our founding fathers of this country, a disproportionate number of Unitarians among them, argue that the universe was like a machine, a clock, and God was the great clock maker. However, once God created the clock, God did not intervene in the mechanics of the machine, just wound up the machine and let it run. And the clock runs at the same speed all year long. It does not slow down for summer, it does not slow down for winter, but keeps the same pace like a machine. To paraphrase a watch advertisement, the deists taught us that the universe takes a licking but keeps on ticking. Most of our workplaces are built on that machine model. So when the longer nights and the shorter days are telling us to rest, 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 our offices and workplaces are saying work, work, work. Just imagine for a moment if one of your coworkers were to disappear for the afternoon and come back a little hairier than they were before, and do the same thing over a series of days until that coworker convinced the whole office to go up in the mountains and become bears. Chances are management would not approve. Would not approve. The poet Hafez once wrote a poem about depression, and it really enters into the darkness of the mood, but then it ends with almost an off-color joke. So get ready for that at the end. A surprise ending. He wrote, "I know the voice of depression still calls to you. I know those habits that ruin your life still send their invitations. But you are with a friend now and look so much stronger. You can stay that way and even bloom. Keep squeezing drops of the sun from your prayers and work and music and from the companions' beautiful laughter. Keep squeezing drops of the sun from the sacred hands and the glance of your beloved, and my dear, from the most insignificant movements of your own holy body. Learn to recognize the counterfeit coins. They may buy you some moment of pleasure, but then they drag you for days like a broken man behind a farting camel." Now that camel metaphor may or may not work for you, But all humor aside, the winter months are a time when we hear the voice of depression speak to us, and sometimes that can lead us toward the habits that harm us and ruin our lives. And if the machine model of the universe is not working for us, if that nonstop tick, 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 tick is not working for us, then we have the opportunity to follow the example of the bears when the nights are long and the days are short, to rest more and work less. The activist Tricia Hersey, she's an activist, but she writes about resting in a book called Rest is Resistance. In it, she writes that rest is a divine right. Rest is not a luxury. Rest is a necessity. Rest is a sacred act. Rest is not a waste of time. Rest makes us more human. Rest creates time for reflection and contemplation. Rest helps us to appreciate a beautiful vista, a lake, a river, and a stream. And rest is renewal. Rest is resurrection. A friend of mine who owns a farm points out that in the wintertime, even the chickens don't lay eggs. So why do we human beings insist on being productive without interruption all 4 seasons, to be productive without the appreciation of the cycles and seasons of life? A Native American leader from the Lakota tribe once wrote these words about the ancient traditions of his people. He wrote them in past tense, as if just conceding that the way of the Lakota was in the past and the way of the machine was here to stay. But I'm putting it in the present tense to suggest we have a choice about that. He wrote, "From Wankantonka, the Great Spirit, there comes a great unifying life force that flows in and through all things, the flowers of the plains, the blowing winds, rocks and trees, birds and animals, and is the same force that has breathed into the first human being. Thus all things are kindred and are brought together by the same great mystery. This concept of life and its relations gives the Lakota an abiding love and reverence for all life. The Lakota can despise no creature, for all are one blood, made by the same hand, and filled with the essence of the great mystery." The name of that Native American leader is Chief Luther Standing Bear. So we have a little bit of bear wisdom coming to us through the words of a human being. Tricia Hersey said that rest is resistance, and I will be thinking about that as our congregation plans to host Family Promise. Our congregation opens its doors and we become shelter for the homeless for a week. I will think about rest as resistance as I lie on one of those new inflatable cushions and take my role as an overnight host, pull up the covers, and sleep soundly, knowing that that too is contributing to the public good. That too is contributing to justice. Rest is resistance. There is a Cherokee legend about the Anisaguhai clan, a community of people who decided it was better to be bears than to be human beings. A community of people who aligned themselves with that life force that flows in and through all things, the life force that can never die, the life force that will always live. Perhaps you and I are not ready for that complete conversion. Perhaps we're not ready for that kind of transformation. It is conceivable that some of us may want to hold on to at least a piece of our own humanity. If so, we can begin with a small step. Let's not call it depression. Let's call it hibernation. So be it. I invite you to join in our closing hymn, Rise and Body Your Spirit, for hymn 54 in your gray hymnal, Now the Light is Less.
Now light is restless noon skies are wide and deep. The ravages of wind and rain are healed. The haze of harvest drifts along the field, until clear eyes put on the look of sleep. The garden spider weaves a silken pair to keep inclement weather from its young. Straight from the oak the gossamer is hung. At dusk our slow breath thickens on the air. Lost hues of birds the trees take as their own. Lost since bronze wheat was gathered into sheaves. The walker trudges ankle deep in leaves. The feather of the milkweed flutters down. The shoots of spring have mellowed with the year. Buds not unsealed obscure the narrow lane. The blood slows trance like in the altered vein. Our vernal wisdom moves through ripe to see.
Prophetic Church, the world awaits your hibernating ministry. Go forward in the power of love, proclaim the truth that makes us free. I invite you to warm up this room by turning and greeting your neighbor.